Right, hello back to Behind the Curve Gaming. In this episode, I've scratched off a couple more PS1 games off of my list, and I need to talk about the future of my PS1 collecting. So I'll just very quickly start with thank you for any new subscribers, returning viewers, that kind of stuff. Because we're on YouTube, I do need to occasionally do, I guess, YouTube things, right, in order for the channel to grow. So please, any likes and subscriptions, if you enjoy the content, please do subscribe for more. That'd be fantastic. Let's get straight into it, shall we? Right, so I picked up a game which I never actually owned in my childhood, and it always kind of like fell out of existence for me. I just always forgot that it existed. And that is Command & Conquer Retaliation. Now, this is it's a bit of a weird one. So this is Red Alert, and then Retaliation was the combination of the PC expansion packs of Counter-Strike and Aftermath for the PS1, which I guess released a couple of years later or something like that. They combined the two into a single storyline and also included some exclusive cutscenes just for the PS1. So I think like the original Command & Conquer for the PS1, it's possibly the definitive version in terms of content, which is really cool. I think I picked this up for around £17 off of Vinted. Prices are a bit weird. They seem to be anywhere from 15 to 30. Occasionally you'll see it bundled with Red Alert or all three of them, and it might be approaching £50-60. So I saw this complete £17. I think I must have had some balance. I was like, yeah, sort it, go for it. Because on eBay at the time, they're kind of all £25, £30. Hopefully I can prove that with some eBay stuff right here. It is complete, but I'll overlay it now. It came with like a load of yellow paint or some similar substance, which had definitely kind of dried on. And that has been a pain to get off. Now, I have managed to get the majority of it off, and I'm confident I could get that off, but I just got bored. So a bit of a shame there. But for the most part, aside from that, it's in really good condition, exterior-wise. Both discs are good, the manual's good. Not bad at all. Okay value, fair. So I'm pretty sure now, for the PlayStation 1 at least, I've got all three Command & Conquer games. Unless I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure those are the games for the PS3. So I'm really happy that I've completed that kind of subset for the PS1. As you can see, Command & Conquer played a big part of my childhood. And some of the noises and the soundtracks and the sound effects are just absolutely iconic. So, awesome. Very happy with that one. And now on to one that I did receive earlier. So I've got a save search on eBay for this one. It was recently £18 in CEX, come down to £15. And eBay was typically a little bit higher than that, complete. And this one came up $15.99, new listing, with manual, complete. I think it was an eBay store. It was a case of look at the pictures, only buy it if you're happy. It wasn't a description of scratches here, cracks, or anything like that. It was just look at the pictures. So I did, and everything looked good. And that is Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, The Hidden Empire. Bit of a mouthful of a title. Classic PS1 double disc, double case goodness. Now, this looks really good. There's a few smudges or some schmutz and stuff on the front, which I'm hoping will clean off. But other than that, there's no cracks or anything. And it's that artwork. I must have just seen that artwork so many times, and it's really just awesome. For me, that's a huge nostalgic hit for me. It's excellent. I love it. I remember going through like the asteroids and your X-Wing, trying to blow up the TIE fighters, various levels on, I assume, the Death Star, where you're popping in and out of cover, trying to take down the stormtroopers. Now, this, I think, had a very mixed reception when it came out, but typically it was praised for the visuals. Now, I think this possibly on the PC, and it got ported a couple of years later. This is a, what are they called? So it's an on-rail shooter, but it's a full movie game. So I think what that means, correct me if I'm wrong please, is that there's live action, so you actually have actors, and it is then inserted into the game background, as it were. So it's a very unique look, and I think there's a few of those in the 90s. They kind of like trialed that. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. And whilst I was doing a little bit of research, it turns out that a bit of trivia for you. So any of the props that you see that are recognizable for the live action, the characters and the actors are wearing props that you might recognize, those are actual props from the films, which I thought was really cool. It's just something that you wouldn't really expect. But yeah, I thought that was a cool little trivia fact. Now, because I've not shown you my own gameplay impressions and first impressions of this game, there's a reason for that. And that's because this is one of the only games which isn't compatible with the PS3 for whatever reason. There's a very small list of games, as far as I'm aware, that don't work on the PS3. So unfortunately, I can't play that as easy as I'd like to, which is a shame because I do really want to try it again. But whilst I was Googling, apparently, I don't know if the PS2 is completely backwards compatible, but someone said just use a PS2. So I do have a Slimline tucked away somewhere. It's not currently out and hooked up or anything, but in theory this should work on a PS2, I believe. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. So yeah, I do have a means to play it because that would suck. I do like to actually play the game sometimes when I get them. So yeah, all in all, good price for this, $15.99, free delivery, very good condition, complete, classic double case, excellent. Command & Conquer Retaliation, basically a standalone expansion game, which is not something you typically get, but awesome. Completed that set, a game that I've never actually played, and I do look forward to playing that one. Now, moving on to the topic of the future of my PS1 collecting. This doesn't have to be a decision for everyone, but I look at my PS1 collection and I think I need to make this decision for the sake of, I guess, looks and aesthetics. But it's the age-old choice. What do you do? Do you go platinum because it is typically cheaper? CEX distinguish between platinums and normal black labels, and they are across the board cheaper, and that is reflected in the usual market. Or do you go for the original black label? Now, the only differences are literally that kind of silver grey border, same for the text on the back as well as the spine. Now, as far as I'm aware, I believe the games are practically identical releases. So what do? Do you go for the cheaper one? Do you care in the first place? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you mind? Are there people out there that do just collect for the game, right? They don't care how it looks, they've got the game. But for me, because I spend my time in here, I'm not necessarily just playing the games. I might be doing some work in here or whatever it might be. I like to see my collection as well, and there's something that's just, there's an opportunity for uniformity there. But because I've got those different spines, it's really annoying. Now, previously when I picked up PS1 games, not really bothered to just go no platinum or yes or whatever. So half of my collection is actually platinums, which is a little bit annoying. So there's some examples. I have at least one example of, where is it? Here. So the original black label release of Command & Conquer comes in your double disc double case. Now the platinum comes in your double disc single case. So to me, that's inferior. This is the copy to collect for, at least for me. It just looks way more awesome. The iconic PS1 double disc double case. That is the one to go for. It's reflected in the price. Sometimes this is almost double as much. And ultimately, as I mentioned earlier, for me, the PS1 is synonymous with black spines and white writing. That's how I've currently got them lined up. And there's a chance of uniformity. Now, on a lot of consoles, there isn't. Obviously, like 360 or PS3, it's all kinds of colours and fonts and graphics and things all over the place on the spines. But for the PS1, you have that opportunity there for uniformity. Whether you go platinums or black labels or whatever other variants there may be, I prefer that look. That look is, for me, the look that the PS1 is known for. When you're looking at something visually, it gives you that little, it gives me that little extra hit of nostalgia. So My decision is that I will be collecting Black Label from now on, or at the very least I will do my best to. I might pick up something because it's a really good opportunity, a good value, bargain. Maybe it's hard to come by otherwise, whatever. But I will do my best to pick up the original releases. Now in terms of my current Platinums, of which I've got 6 out of about 15 maybe games, I will look to replace those and just, sell on the Platinums, I guess. They're not going to be worth anything in trade. I have accidentally kind of started collecting PS1 double disc double cases. Kind of accidentally, as I said. I've got Final Fantasy VIII here. Yes, it's a Platinum, forget that, but it's your double case. Destruction Derby, it's your double case. Minor Conquer, it's your double case. Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, it's your double case. You let me know in the comments below. I've not googled a definitive list of these. As far as I'm aware, on CX you can't tell by the pictures or descriptions. If you can let me know, are there other easily obtainable, relatively budget games that I can pick up which are double case that are also good games? I don't just want to collect them for the sake of it. Now, what comes to mind is, did the original Crash Bandicoot have a double case release, or Tomb Raider maybe, or something like that? Relatively cheap games, hopefully, that I can also get up here, because I've kind of accidentally found myself collecting them. A third of my collection is double cases, which is cool because I really like them. They're just PS1, right? They just are. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please, like I said earlier in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much.